Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we're going to talk about chicken, and I mean chicken and chicken and chicken and chicken. It is so important that we have plenty of protein in our food storage. We need to store as much as we possibly can for months and months if possible. Protein will be one of the most important things that we need to have available to us in difficult times when we need to conserve our strength and make sure that we stay healthy. Now, meat is a great candidate for storing protein, and there are many ways to do it. Now, with chicken, we have so much chicken stored. I've canned chicken or bottled it in quarts. I've bottled it in pints. I have it frozen in packets of 1.5 cups that fit for lots and lots of recipes. In addition, we've just used our last can of canned chicken. That's a very easy way to do it if you don't do canning. If you're a member of a big box store like Costco, you can get the cans of chicken that are just a little bit larger than tuna cans, and that's great to have on your shelf. And then we also have bulk chicken breasts and chicken thighs that are stored in our freezer. So we have lots and lots of chicken. Well, when we have a lot of protein or a lot of anything, we need to be sure that we have ways to use it. And so I have been trying out quite a few recipes to add to those that we already have. Chicken is so versatile. I mean, you can use it in Mexican cooking, you can use it in Italian cooking, you can use it in cooking. You can bake it, you can fry it, you can roast it, you can grill it, you can barbecue it, and you can chop it up and use it in all kinds of things, including a wide variety of salads and casseroles. And so it is a very, very versatile source of protein that we can have in storage on our food storage shelves. So this morning we're going to be making, and now I'm trying out a new recipe. You know, because of my experience over many, many years, I can pretty much look at a recipe and tell whether or not we're going to like it. Not always, I get fooled sometimes, but as I looked at this recipe and looked at the ingredients, we like pretty much everything there. Now it does call for dill, and so it is kind of a sweet plus a tangy with the dill. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to put the link to the recipe right below the description of the video. So as you are watching the video, there's a band right below the video that is the description, and it will often say more, 3 dots with more. You click on those 3 dots, and then there are all the things that I talk about that will be in the video description. So I'll put that link there so that you can take a look at this. Now, I may not be respecting the exact amounts of things when I'm putting this together today, and that's probably very par for the course for those of us who as we find ourselves in difficult situations and we just look to see what we have on hand, we may be looking at a recipe and getting the idea for it, but then substituting ingredients. I'm not substituting any ingredients today, but I could. And then using what we have and maybe adjusting the amounts just a little bit. So that's going to be very typical for us, and so we might as well practice now while we're getting ready to be prepared for difficult times. So I have 1 packet of our chicken, which is thawed and chopped, and it's about 2 cups, 2.5 cups of chicken. It's a little bit shy. I'm going to put this back in the freezer. So this is about 2 or 2.5 cups. A little bit shy of what the recipe calls for, but it's going to be just fine. And it also calls for us to put, to have a 1/2 cup of craisins that have been diced. I'm just going to dump those in for right now and get those off my board so that we can have the space. Now, I'm going to put the salad dressing together, or the dressing that calls for 2/3 cup of mayo. And we have mayo stored. I want to just talk about these ingredients to let you know how we deal with them in our own food storage. So we always have 2 or 3 backups of our mayo stored out in our food storage. Plus, we have at least 1 video on how to make your own. And homemade mayo is really wonderful. I think we even have a video on how to make eggless mayo, which some of you may wish to do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I thought so. So next up, we have our stone ground Dijon mustard, and I like it with the seeds in it, which I think is what stone ground means. And we need 2 tablespoons of this mustard. And we'll put our mayo in here as well. And then I have our spices. In here I have a teaspoon of dill weed, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, and a teaspoon of sugar. And so those are going in. So we're going to just mix this together. You could mix everything together in the same bowl, but since I'm a little bit shy on the chicken, I thought maybe I would just do it separately in case I don't want to use quite all of this dressing. I don't want it too, gushy. Okay, so those things are now out of the way, and I'm bringing over my wonderful chopper, my Vidalia chopper, and if you have one, you know that it has 2 sizes of grid, and I am going to use the fine grid today. And I'm going to do several things. I'm going to do a little bit of onion here. Sometimes when I use this, my watch comes on and dings at me and says, "Have you fallen?" So I have to say, "No, I'm okay." But I appreciate that feature in my watch. So there's our onion. Then I'm going to just do some apple here as well. Well, I just learned not to put apples with peelings through the Vidalia, so that's much better. And let's go ahead and dump this stuff in. I think I've done celery before. Now, I don't know if it's going to do nuts, but I'm going to try one. If it doesn't, then I'll just pull out my knife and we'll... Ho-ho! Yay! Okay, so celery and nuts. And I'm just going to kind of mix this around so we can see what we're looking at. Jim, this is going to be a lot of salad.
Yeah. We can have 4 or 5 helpings tonight.
Always the optimist. Okay. I think it will take all of this dressing.
Sure looks like it.
Yeah, I think so. Now, with these ingredients, the only thing that I might not be able to use if times get really tough and we don't have things at the grocery store that we can get is the celery. We have apple trees, and so we have apples preserved in a lot of ways, from applesauce to apple pie filling, but for dried as well. I have lots of quarts of dried apples out there from our bumper crop that we had about 2 years ago. And I would just take those dried apples and dice them and use that instead of fresh apples if I didn't have any fresh ones available. Okay, so now I like the fact that these are all finely diced. Makes it very nice. So I'm going to do a little taste test. Wow. That dill is a lovely surprise. I have never done a chicken salad with dill. Wow, that is really, really good. Now I'm going to chill this, and then we will come back at lunchtime and make ourselves some chicken sandwiches. Now this salad could be used for lunch just as is. Put on a nice lettuce leaf and have maybe some orange slices or something like that on the side. It can be used in sandwiches, which is what we're going to do. So it's a pretty versatile little salad. So we'll be back once this is chilled and it's time for lunch. It is lunchtime, so here we go. I'm going to make one sandwich on camera, and then I'll make our other one off camera after I've taste tested it. So since this is going to be my sandwich, I'm just going to go ahead. This is bread from this loaf right here. Is part of our whole grain bread that we usually always have on hand. And I'm just going to put a little mayo on it. I just like to have the bread covered. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bit of lettuce. And I've stored our salad in 2 of these little jars. It fits perfectly. These are such handy little jars. In fact, I'll put the link to these. I've had a couple of requests for these anyway. They are in our Amazon store now, but just so you can easily check on them, I'm going to go ahead and put the link below this video as well. So I'm going to then pile the chicken salad on top of the lettuce. Jim taste tested the salad after we went off camera, and he really likes it too, so it's going to be a winner in our family. Okay, and then just put this on my plate. And cut them in half. Okay, here we go. Probably the best chicken salad I've ever had. It is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Chilling the salad makes a big difference. Putting it between slices of our homemade bread. I love our homemade bread anyway, and it just adds so much. So this recipe is really a keeper for us. The link is in the description of the video, so try it and let us know what you think about it and whether or not it will be one that you add to your food storage recipes as well. So thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate you being here, appreciate all of your comments, and we feel like we just have a fantastic community. So we will see you again very soon for more videos.